This is the other side of the same frame, which I think is good, because if you wiggle the Allen key, this nut bolt, whatever it is, sorry for my terminology, doesn't move at all. And if you do the wheel wobble, there's no movement. So I think that one has been made correctly. And same bolt, although it's on the other side on this one, and it's tightened up, giving it loads of welly, but look, it's still loose. You can see the nut moving because it's not pushed up against the frame, it's pushed up against the nut or bolt which is behind it, and it sits below the surface of the frame. So I think the hole that it is sitting in has been made too deep, and it's causing this to move here, which then allows the wheel to wobble. It's really hard to show it up on a video. This is me wiggling the wheel. You can see the nut is moving. It's easy to see the Allen key moving as well, even though it's tightened up, probably tighter than it should be. This is the result of the movement. There's about an inch of play on the 27.5 back wheel. Kind of difficult to film it properly though. Here's what I think the problem is. This is the part of the rear triangle of the old 2019 Zesty. It's got a 6901 bearing in there with the circlip in place, and I'm going to assemble it with this nut, this spacer thing, and this nut that goes on. So in goes the nut. This thing sits on top of it, like so, and then this part of the rear triangle goes on here, and then this nut goes here, and then we tighten it all up, which is a bit tricky without the rest of the bike. Kind of a reverse thread because you're screwing it on the wrong side, obviously. And we'll tighten it up, see how loose the nut is in there. Keep tightening it. I'm going to give it a really good crank. And look how loose and wobbly it is. It's all over the place. Super floppy, even though it's all cranked up exactly as it should be. And the problem is, so here's what I think the problem is, this nut is sitting too low in this hole. So when you tighten it up, rather than the nut tightening onto the frame, it's tightening onto that bolt instead, so it's leaving the frame really loose, even when it's on maximum tightness. So I can't really make that any tighter without the swing arm in place, and the nut is going to go, or bolt, whatever it is, goes on there, and then we'll tighten it up. And then all of a sudden it won't go any tighter because it's already sitting against that in there, so you can't tighten it anymore, and the frame is too thin to fit snugly in there. It's the same bolt on the Spicy, which never caused any problems, and it sits just above the surface and doesn't move forwards or backwards at all. Really good fit.